Photographers are like vacuum cleaners. They suck. They often take things from your house that you used to love. They need batteries. Doesn't mean if 5 of them came to me for help, I'd let them die.
All I want is the perfect camera. All I want is the perfect camera.
So we got an interesting episode today. We help 5 loser photographers. We're gonna use this Zeiss Planar lens on several different cameras. Right now we're on the Blackmagic 4K. I cannot control the toniature, so we're wide open, I think. And that's the worst behavior this lens could ever have. I put a tube light behind me. Does that ruin it as much as I think it does? Oh, I'm so stupid. It looked so nice and normal before. What do you suggest as a better alternative for a studio video camera at a similar price point? He's talking about the Pocket 3 and how I said it doesn't look great in here unless you're in beauty mode, of course. When you're Jay Swizzle, you're a star. You don't need cameras to flatter you. You're a Korean pop star. You know what to do in any situation. Your village appreciates you. If you're doing side-by-side, oh, Zeiss, I'm a normal camera. You're not Jay Swizzle. That's your problem. I actually just filmed a video. I had an idea to do some like slow motion street videography, but what if I used beauty mode on unsuspecting people? It turned out quite interesting. That's for another day. But if you're Jay Swizzling up in this bitch, I appreciate you and you're cool, but like you're never gonna be me. When it comes to studio cams that would beat the Pocket 3, I mean almost anything would, pretty much. Like take any APS-C or Micro Four Thirds camera from our past, and it would pretty much like hold up or destroy in the skin tone area inside. Outside, this thing, it's hard to beat all the features. Very stable, it's fun. But like in here, when it's just image quality, you don't need stabilization, you don't need a lot, you just need to flatter your face so you can get a date. I would lean Nikon Z30 all the way. Canon R50 you could probably get by with almost any lens. A fucking R10 is a slight update. R100, ooh, you're pushing it. You know what's funny? I was just looking at an old Sony a6400 with the Sigma 16mm, and I was putting together a little sample, and I was like, why does that look so much better than anything I've tried since? Like, it was just so sharp, and the more thought I put in to making the image look nice, the worse we get. We're getting nowhere. I'm treading water, and there's frogs just latching onto my legs and I'm sinking. I cannot even get a nice image anymore. Okay, I turned that light off. I do not trust my creative intuitions. So like pretty much any camera would beat this DJI Action 3. That's why it complements other cameras so nicely, because it's your vlogging camera that goes outside and has like really good slow-mo and stuff. But in here, you can get by with almost anything. I bet you a Canon G7X would look better. It would have better skin tones, but you wouldn't be in focus ever unless you tapped a track. So like I would go full frame if you can. What's the cheapest full frame camera you can get? That's the question you should ask yourself. And then, oh, I can't afford even that. Damn. Like a Canon 6D2, come on. Someone's got to have one for like 600 Canadian. Let us switch now to the Blackmagic OG with this lens. All right, that's a little tight. I realized that I had to back up a bit because the focal plane was a little behind me. So most likely the last shot we witnessed was filled with user error and I was not in focus. And that's fun. I never get anything right. Question, if money were not a problem and you were in the market for a Fuji X 56mm or 50, which one would Fuji 56 1.2 wear? Viltrox? Sigmas? Fu? 50? I watch countless videos. What are your thoughts? I'm going to use it mainly for photography, not video. Like I care about your thoughts. If you're using it for video, like its intended purpose was, in my opinion, there's one lens that is magic. It's the 56 1.2. It's a cult following classic lens. Character, 3D pop, everything you'd want. Autofocus motors? not so much. That's where they cheaped out. Fuji's only getting worse and worse. For some reason, their modern lenses, they're just coming out with new and improved versions that autofocus better, but the look is gone. So it's like a pure downhill slide for them. I think they just won an award on Petapixel. They're like, best kit lens ever made, the 18 to 55. Well, they're about to replace it with something much worse. So like, it's only downhill from here on out. The 50-21, I hear that it's worse. It's worse character. It's big and heavier. Autofocus is not great, but better probably. It's the 56 1.2 used and you're done. Why are you looking to a Viltrox or a Sigma? The Sigmas will be sharp. I'll give you that. Will you pop off the frame? Come on now, you're stuck in that frame in a 3-dimensional line, 2D. Not 3D. The Viltrox will be even worse than the Sigma. So like if I had to rank these, I'd go Fuji 56, Sigma, Viltrox. That's not in the frame. The 51, just for the heck of it, but it's expensive and heavy. Laowa. They don't even make one. Okay, let's put this lens on the Nikon body with that Viltrox speed booster and hope to God that it works. Okay, now what we are likely witnessing is me out of focus again on the Nikon ZF now. I stopped it down to 1.8. Yes, it is an advantage. It's a little sharper than it was at 1.4, but I can do that now. And I'm the one in charge. Are you in charge? No? So like we just went from 4K 12-bit RAW to frickin' 8-bit nothing. Standard. No logs. But better, probably. You mention ZFC and Z30 often, potential in the Z6 III, but how come you never mention anything about the ZF? I hate its retro layout, but it does the job. Full frame, flippy screen, IBIS, 10-bit analog, in body, but yes, still poor 1080p, 120 frames max, but only nevertheless good body for video vlogging photos. Is it? Yeah, it would be. I kind of want one, but you think I would spend that kind of money? Right now it's like $3,000 Canadian to get my Fuji X-T4 specs of 2018 type of thing. It's like such a downgrade. It's not even a sideways step for me. I'm at A7S III, can do anything I'd ever need and more, way more than I ever even use. And you're thinking, how come I don't, well, you didn't tell me to buy it, but why don't I talk about it? It's up there, man. It's just, the vintage dials are annoying. It's kind of heavy for what it is. I want one. Yes, it's a fantastic option. It's the best option right now for YouTubers in Nikon, if you're being honest with yourself. Full frame, it's like, imagine that 40mm Tony 2 on this thing. Come on. I almost guarantee I will sell off this ZFC and the Z30 and switch into a Nikon ZF at some point, or a Z6 III. I would have to see the craziest deal. Like, it's 1,400 Canadian. There's a little mark on the inside behind the LCD screen. Sorry about that. It's a tiny scratch. I'll take a $3,000 off. But you're right, I should mention it more because it is the leader for Nikon in video for basic budget flippy screen style. Like the Z8 would look much better, but then your conundrums are, how do you see yourself, and you're trusting your framing. Even when I see myself, my framing is bad. Imagine me without being able to see it. It'd be this. Coming to you today, sponsored by Tits and Ass. So absolutely, I should have looked at that instead of the Blackmagic 4K. For some reason, I got that thing thinking, oh, it's special. It's a special look, cinematic, raw. It would look so much better with a ZF and any lens. And it's like so much sharper, autofocus, easier to use. Everything about it would be better. The dumbest thing I've ever done is buy that thing. I want to return it. All right, let's now use the Canon R8 with this same lens. We are now on the Canon R8 with the same 50mm Zeiss lens at 1.8. I was allowed to move a little closer now to get the framing the way I pleased. And there we have that. And an interesting experiment. That battery is flashing, but I'm also powering it with the Came TV thing. Why are you flashing? So who's going to win that battle? I usually agree with you, but what is wrong with Sigma? You think the whole company stinks? I use some of their lenses and they pop just fine. The reality is, I'm unreasonable and stupid, and don't listen to me ever. I don't know why I started making fun of Sigma. They're actually quite good. Their lenses are sharp. They're cheaper than native. They autofocus really well. It's like, I just made a video testing the 18 to 35. And so like, your question is answered in an entire video coming very soon to a theater near you. And it was not bad. It was a pretty good lens. Does it have 3D pop? Well, let's back off the claims now. Nothing pops on a Sigma ever. They don't know how to do it. The simple element count is what does that. 7 elements or less. This lens has 7 elements. The Sigma 51.4 has 14. Double the elements, double the trouble. But let's be real, next to me, Sigma 16mm 1.4 on a cheap Sony body, Sony Color Science. It probably looks better than this. And is that because Sony is better than Canon or Sigma is better than Zeiss? No, it's because I'm aging rapidly. Every second that passes, I get uglier. That's a bitch. Nobody told me that when I signed up. But here we are, degrading my face. And that's what we're seeing here. Young, youth, happiness versus bitter, cold, just in a wool sweater now just to keep the body heat, keep what he has inside already. Sigma's good. It's good times. I've looked many times thinking like, oh, the 14 to 24 for the Sony? Wow, that'd be fun. 2.8 zoom, wow. You could get by. They're good. It's just, and do they have pop? They might even have some. I haven't tested every lens, and I often don't know what the hell I'm talking about. People know things so much more than me when it comes to like lens fidelity and what makes a lens good. The experts that know are probably like, are you kidding me? This Sigma 105 1.4 has more pop than anything you own. Zeiss or whatever, Leica. So it's like, oh, they're probably a pretty good company. I'm a dick, and I know nothing. I've run out of cameras to test this lens on, so let's switch to its nearest competitor. My God. Sony a7S III, Zeiss 55. So much easier than everything I've tried so far today. Everything's a little manual focus. This, for what advantage? I do see zebras on my face, but I'm not going to panic about that. Not right now, not today. I'm embarrassed to say that this is the only subscribed channel I'm open to that I hate vlogging. How do you manage to create so much content? Doing remarkably well, of course. I guess you're not a family man. I have no life. That's the secret. Just know nobody. Just have like one friend in another town far away, and then you can just concentrate on your work. For the most part, like, I think since I came back from Vegas, inspired with Marcus Picks, we're having so much fun, and just his creative mindset, I was like, damn, that's a good idea. Like, holy shit. Like, he has a lot of great ideas. So I don't know why, if it was the success that he lives every day, that I just, like, I wanted to try harder. So I've just been pedal to the metal, and I've had more energy. So the secret to my output here is just feeling better, having good energy. Fasting all day long is the key to everything. I just have so much energy all day, and then you eat a big meal, 1 meal a day, and then it's like, okay, then you're lowered. I actually made the Sigma after that. The Sigma video coming soon after my 1 meal. So if my energy's a little lowered, that's why. But like, you gotta feel good to create. But if I'm being honest with you, I'm actually kind of disappointed with my videos lately. Just, I'm stuck in here. I can't go out. I like going outside and making videos in nature, and it's freezing in Canada. So like winter, I'm stuck in this set of a living room. It's like, what am I even doing here? And I'm just doing like all these Q&As, and there's not much cameras being released. And it's like, what is this show? So like, I'm my hardest critic. Was that even your question anymore? We went right into that. No, I don't have a family. No kids, that's the secret. Let's be honest here, you change a lot of gear, but not the Sony a7S III. Fulfill pretty much everything you need, and the rest are temporary stuff for your YouTube channel. You pretty much nailed it. Yes, the Sony a7S III has killed my channel immediately, and there's 0 point. I don't know why I look at other gear. None of it even competes with everything this does for me. It's just so easy to use. I'm so used to everything about it. The menu system, it's like Sony wins. The only thing I'm looking for is slightly better color, but often the Sony colors look better than whatever the hell I experiment with. And if I could just learn to grade, you'd have a normal face. Or if I ate better, ate a vegetable every now and then, I don't know. So like Sony is pretty much doing it. And when it comes to the slow-mo, it's like, you're not beating this thing. So like, we're still waiting for someone to compete with this, and we're getting a firmware soon. Who knows what that's going to add? Something? Maybe. What are you going to take away? Something? Oh, sorry, 240 frames no longer available. Unless you switch into the Demon lot. This is Sony skin tones at its finest. So I don't know why, but I really would love for someone to beat the Sony a7S III, and I would love for it to be another company. I don't know why. It makes no sense. Sony has all the Zeiss glass that I love. So it's like, I'm hoping for an a7S IV, really, or just the firmware. Come on. So it's like, yeah, we're done. The search for the perfect camera, that long ended. This, and now we have a mini stick in the DJI 3. This is a freaking a7S III right there in your hand. So, who won today's battle? First, we started with Blackmagic 4K. Freaking thing. I don't love the image even. I like the OG color science better. Speaking of the OG, that was a punched in shot. That's a bit not great. So, okay, you have okay skin tones, but like, what are you doing? I had to manually focus that, and I probably missed full focus. I couldn't even control the aperture. Then we moved to Nikon. Not bad. Nikon, little 8-bit APS-C. You did some stuff, didn't you? I'm with you, Nikon, waiting for that ZF Mark II. Huh? Canon? I don't know why I cannot grade Canon footage. It looks worse than my EOS R did. That hurts. That honestly, it hurts a lot. So, like, whatever. And then, here we are. Leaving now. Sony a7S III. Still the one to beat. And it never will be beaten. That's sad. I don't love that world. So, I'm gonna leave. What do you think? Stuff? Do you think stuff? I'll leave. Subscribe for everybody else in there.